and welcome to MGP286. I'm Kev, and with me as ever, there's Sheepdog, Anna, and Pab. Say hello, boys and girls.
Hello.
Yo.
Hello.
Anna, I did ask for people to say hello. If you could just redo that with a hello rather than a yo, that would be much appreciated. Pab will edit it in again like he did last week.
Yellow.
That'll do. Edit that, Pab.
Right.
Everyone wins a prize. You get 400 MGP points if you tweet at us by the end of Sunday and let us know what part of last week's show had a very subtle edit that you probably didn't know. It was so seamlessly done, no one will figure it out.
This is it. I don't even think there was an edit. I think we're just pretending.
Exactly. How are we all on this fine evening?
Alarmed, on edge, as you might have guessed.
Oh, I wonder, are we going to get another weird Tales of Sheepdogs week coming at us?
It's not really a
Sheepdog
weird
lives in a
tale,
cartoon. What's been happening in the Sheepdog cartoon this week, Sheepdog? Did someone drop an anvil on you?
No. Before I go on to what is bothering me this week, I scared the hell out of my wife on the way home. I stopped at McDonald's and got some food, and then for them as well as me. And then I rang her. She answered the phone, and I went, "I'm devastated." She instantly thought I'd crashed or killed someone or something and panicked. But all I was thinking to tell her was that I'd broke the car. I'd braked at a roundabout, and her chips had gone flying over the seat and all over the car and everywhere.
Why were they her chips, Sheepdog? Why weren't they your chips?
Because
yours.
I didn't have chips. Well, both of them went on the floor, and I managed to salvage one pack and give them to her whilst the others went on the floor. But I was so annoyed. I didn't think about the fact that she didn't know it had happened. And I rang her like, "I can't believe it. I'm devastated." And absolutely scared the hell out of her. But I've been on edge all day because I keep getting emails through. Somebody has, I don't know, I guess got a password from a website somewhere or other. And now they're systematically going through everything I've ever signed up to and basically just wiggling the lock to see if it will open, and sort of stolen my Spotify account, which was surprisingly easy to get back, but it involved a lot of ball ache of them cancelling all my contracts. And I said, they text me going, "Don't worry, none of your personal details have been revealed." And my colleagues were like, "Well, that's all right." And I said, "Yeah, but whoever stole it now knows that I'm an avid Little Mix fan, and they'll be able to leverage that over me." Jokingly, this was a complete joke. And then when I got the account back, that's all they'd been listening to, and now everyone in my office thinks I'm a Little Mix fan. I even asked them to, because I deleted all my music, everything I've listened to, and the only thing in there was Little Mix and some random French album. And I was like, honestly, that's not mine. So I got it all. Spotify do like a backup thing where they bring it all back, but even now it still has things I've listened to today, and it's just the France top 50, Adele, Little Mix, Katy Perry, even more Little Mix, a massive long list of Little Mix stuff, and I'm like, oh mate. So the man at Spotify thinks I'm a fan.
What is Bossman Birdie?
I don't know.
Are
you looking down my...
Yeah, I'm looking at your recently played artists.
Well, that's obviously one of them, because I have no idea.
This is quite interesting.
Bossman Birdie, where's that on the list?
It's quite far down. Bossman Birdie.
So anything, I think today I put on Manic Street Preachers, so anything after that is me. Because I was playing music at the baby, trying to make him chill out.
Yeah, Mannix will do that.
Well, yeah, it's a good song. But yeah, now I'm just on edge because I keep getting emails saying that people have tried to change my password or whatever, and then on top of that, I'm getting spam saying like, "Oh, your PayPal account's been frozen," and when I look, that's not real. And if I went into that, they'd get even more details out of me because it's not the same email address. So I feel like I've got to be extra vigilant now.
I almost regret signing you up for all these things over the years.
Yeah. But I was convinced it was Pab doing it because he was going, "Oh, you might want to check your PSN account." When I tried to sign into it, it didn't work. So I thought he was just lulling me into a false sense of security.
He loves lulling.
I have got an email from the United Nations saying that my long-awaited payment of $2.5 million is now ready to be transferred.
That seems legitimate.
Yeah. I can't decide whether that's going to be part of the attack, whether they just want to see how dumb I truly am. But
well, they should listen to the show for a few weeks, and then they'll work that out for themselves.
I've got axolotl news. I took it out of the fridge. I discovered that axolotls do this thing. So you remember last year
when you put them in the fridge for too long.
So last year, she had like 1,000 babies or something crazy. It was pretty much a year to the day. Apparently, when there's no fella in the tank or with them when they're in the wild, they don't lay the eggs. They just keep them in their stomach and they live off of them.
Okay.
So she's just basically burning the eggs for food. And so me putting her in the fridge just massively slowed that process down. I've just got to keep her normal and she'll just start eating again when all the eggs are gone. But imagine if humans could do that.
Sounds like you need to get her a fella.
Well, no. If I get her a fella, then I'll have 1,000 axolotl. It's a bad investment.
Yeah, that was a fun little shenanigan last year. It was excellent stuff.
Well, this is an even better shenanigan because it means that every 11 months I get a month off feeding her.
How will you know when it's time to?
Yeah, there's like 100 of them in there now.
Really?
No, I don't know how many there are. I haven't sat and counted them, have I?
There's more shrimp than water in there now, though.
Well, I can't tell because they're ghost shrimp. They're see-through. You have to be right up close to see them. So it could be all shrimp. She could be a shrimp. She could be loads of shrimp, all pretending to be an axolotl, but because she's actually gone. They're so brazen as well. They're brazen. They just swim around like they own the place. I put some food in there for her. They take it apart, move it all around. They think they own the place.
So has anyone else had a grand piano fall on them down a flight of stairs or an anvil? Their eyes burst out of their head at the sight of something ridiculous?
Oh, I discovered...
Oh, right. Sheepdog's up again.
No, I discovered... You know what? I must have mentioned it before. I discovered... did I ever mention I had a guinea pig that I never knew what happened to it? It just disappeared.
We all had our theories what happened to it.
Well, yeah, but my dad randomly texted me earlier going, I just remembered a fox ate it. And I was like, no, you're thinking of the first guinea pig. I'm talking about the second guinea pig. And I was like, don't confuse it for the third one. We know what happened. The first got eaten. The third one just died of natural causes. The second one, nobody remembers us having. And we text back and forth like that for ages because he just kept giving me ambiguous things that could have been any of the pets we've had. No, this happened to it. No, that could have been any of them. And then what I found out is that exactly the same as the first one, my mum thought she'd let it out because it looked a bit unhappy. You know, it's cooped up all day on a warm day. And within 10 minutes of it being let out, a fox just swooped in and took it off and ate it. I was just like, that woman needs to leave pets alone. Like, I have them for years and they're fine. And then I'm out for a day or I've abandoned it for pastures new and she thinks she'll just do it a little favour. And
you need to stop hanging out near where the foxes live.
Well, she needs to stop whistling. She probably just whistles them over. And I couldn't believe it, but that was quite entertaining when he just revealed. Because I've asked him a few times, he's like, I don't know about, don't remember, and he's probably been covering for all this time. But obviously, the what's the word? Is it statute?
The statute of limitations.
Yeah, that's obviously expired on my family. And when I told my sister, she was equally as humoured by it as I was because my mum's kept that quiet for about a decade. I actually thought I was making up a pet or that I was going to find an overgrown guinea pig hutch at the back of their garden one day. But no.
A decade? You were still having guinea pigs at your parents' house when you were in your 20s?
No, I forget how old I am.
No wonder she let it out for a fox to eat. She was trying to get rid of you.
No, I must have been I don't know how old I was, 15, 16 maybe when it was still alive.
A little bit old for having a guinea pig now. I'll feed it to the fox.
I'm pretty sure it was still alive when I moved out, and I just kind of left it there. Yeah, you'll sort it out.
You're a monster.
I've got no idea though. Either that, or I still lived there when it was gone, and I just never noticed. But you've had that. You had goldfish that split in half or something because you forgot that you had them, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. They'd been a little while.
And your kids still haven't asked where they are, have they?
I don't think they knew we had them. They were just sort of in the corner, and stuff got put on top, and then it was like goldfish soup when when I poured the water over the back of the garden. We've probably got a goldfish tree back there by now.
I can't believe that though, because that's at least I left mine with responsible adults. It's not my fault they fed them to foxes.
No.
I think that's all of the cartoon stupidity that I've done this week.
Splendid. Just the 3 stories then. That's all right then.
If any more pop up, I'll let you know.
Of the other 2 who are still here, presumably, have you had normal person weeks?
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Miles away.
You should apologise for a normal person week. We're trying to entertain the nation here.
I just not the laptop that's recording this just went, we're going to restart soon.
You should probably tell it no thank you.
I tried to. It's not having none of it. It's not taking no for an answer.
Well,
when it decides it wants to restart it might let me just do it then. It just went, just let you know we're going to restart it soon. Not telling me when.
They're such a bunch of shysters. It's like, yeah, never mind what you're doing. We've decided.
Last week, I set it up intentionally early, like last week, and it did 6 updates last week. I don't know.
You need to open this laptop more than once a week.
No, yeah, that's why I did it. That's why I opened it early last week. I opened it at about 7 o'clock last week and just let it do them.
That's still only opening it once a week, though, Pab. Open it on a Wednesday.
What kind of laptop is it? Like, this sounds like a PlayStation. Are you sure you're not recording on a PlayStation?
Oh, I wish. It'd be damn sight easier. No, it's an Alienware. So, it's a laptop. Don't know what it's doing, but it is doing something, at least. It is doing something.
Likely story. I've just dropped my dice. Oh, not my Pab dice.
What did it roll to?
I don't know. I can't see it. I've still got the 7-sided one.
See it? What is it? A 7-sided die?
No, I've got the 7-sided one in my hand. Oh no, I do see it. It landed on 3.
Oh, I was going to bet. I was going to bet £1,000 on it. On the 3, you owe me 10 grand.
Why would I be giving you 10 to 1 for a 1 in 6 chance?
Because you're a bad mathematician.
That's a good point.
You are a bad mathematician.
Right, has anyone played any video games this week?
I have, but I always go first. I have.
Be telling us about Pokemon Go.
No. My family were away for a few days, so I spent every night this week playing
The Sims and pretending they were here.
No, South Park. And forgetting they existed. It was great. I've nearly completed it. I was trying to complete it before the show because I've had a few weeks in a row where I've achieved one of the things I set out to do in my gaming list, and completing this was one of them. But man, that game's hard to figure out where you are in it. Every time I think I'm near the end, another story kicks on. I just don't know when it's. I mean, I had a quick look online to see whether I was anywhere near the end missions, and it kind of depends what order you do them in. So I could be any distance from the end, really. I could either have 4 or 5 missions, or I could have like 20. But I mean, I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving it. It's a great game. I sort of wrote about it the other day and said it's not really a game. It's more of an episode of the show that you're just walking around in. But I love it. It's great, and I can't wait to finish it because I think there's going to be some really funny reveals. They've already had some introductions from characters that I won't mention who they are because I don't want to spoil it, but just there's certain villains in the Lord of the TV show that are just absolutely hilarious. They're preposterously stupid, but the fact that they're in this is just genius. I love it. Yeah, I did you play Stick of Truth? I know Anna did, didn't she?
Yeah, multiple times.
Yeah. Did you ever complete it?
Yeah, again, multiple times.
Wow.
I don't watch South Park, but I finished that loads of times. It was just a fun thing to play.
There's a character called, hang on, I think it's Mitch.
So have you played the new one then, Anna, or have you just?
I played some of it.
Is it not as good as the first one? If you finished that multiple times. But you've not even finished the current one once.
I just got a bit bored with it. The first one was just funny to me. I don't know. This other one just seems they've tried to make. It's a good game, but they've put too many things in that I just can't bother with. Like, you can move around a grid and you can do different powers. The other one, I liked it. You were static. You did certain moves, and that was it. This one, you have to actually think about it. I just I can't bother.
Still, I mean, it's still not thinking too much though.
But it is because I don't remember who people are.
I've only died once in the whole game, and
I see.
Yeah, I was just like, when I got game over on a battle yesterday, funnily enough, I was just like, wait, what? I didn't even know you could die in a battle. But the summons are just brilliant. There's a summon where it just does this awesome cutscene of it's a throwback to one of the dads getting high on chemicals that spray out of a cat's ass, and he starts hallucinating that he's flying a World War II bomber through the sky towards Valhalla, I think it is. It's a really weird thing, but he drops bombs on the villains and then runs semi-naked through the crowd, attacking everyone. And I must have done that summon about 6 or 7 times yesterday. It made me giggle every time because it was just so ridiculous. One of the villains that has kind of come into it, it's not really a spoiler, but it's called Mitch Connor. It also has the other, I can't think of the right word, like a disguised alter ego of Mitch Connor is Jennifer Lopez. And all this character is Cartman's left hand with a face drawn on it. But he doesn't acknowledge that it is his hand or that it's him. He just doesn't acknowledge that it's a villain at all, or that he knows it's there. And the Coon is worried that Mitch Connor might be in South Park, and he's starting to investigate him. But it's his hand, so he knows he's in South Park and all of this. And he sent some ninjas to kill New Kid, but didn't appear himself. It's all been very funny and overcomplicated, but it's just brilliant that it is just a face drawn on his own hand.
I think that game benefits from you knowing the series.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, it's just a long episode, basically.
Yeah, because I mean, them references, Anna won't understand. I won't get them references. If you know what I mean.
I think it kind of did well explaining who Mitch Connor was, because even actually, Cartman's given all the oh God, I think it might be him, and then someone else is saying to him, "It's just your hand," and he's just ignoring them, and it shows them on a screen talking to New Kid, what are we going to do about this, eh? And he talks in that kind of accent. But yeah, it's great. I must be near the end. I must be, but
you put into it.
I can't even say. I don't even know in hours. I've pretty much unlocked every building. I've unlocked every member of Coon and Friends and the Freedom Pals. I think I've only got 2 more moves to learn, because you can obviously pause or reverse time by breaking wind. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think there's more people to get selfies with as well. If I've worked it out right. Every time I get a selfie, it tells me I'm an extra 1% through. So I'm guessing that there's 25 more people. If it's saying that 75 people is 75%. It's quick maths there.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. I must be close. I reckon if I stay up late tonight, I'll get it done.
Excellent.
Splendid. What have the rest of you rascals been playing then? Wow.
Sorry, Kev.
I got Shadow of the Colossus from Nikki Wilson. I
warned you.
Get it.
I warned you.
I got it as a thing. I don't get it. I don't why everyone is losing their mind over it.
It's the Emperor's New Clothes. It always has been.
I thought it was the ending that made it a big deal to people.
Yeah, but how does anyone get to the ending? It's so boring.
It's pretty and everything. It's lovely. but I just don't get it. You just go around. You shoot it with an arrow, or you hit it, and then you climb on it, and then you go and find this like glowy bit, and then you stab your sword into it, and then you're done. Then you fight. If the glowy thing moves, you go elsewhere on the body. And then you stab that, and it sometimes tries to shake you off, and you've got like a stamina bar. But I just don't get why everybody is losing their minds over it.
It might be a spoiler, and it might be a major spoiler, but this game's quite old, so do you think it matters?
Yes.
You think it matters?
In a sense, it's a new release.
Yeah, there's going to be a whole load of people who've only just got it for the first time.
Okay. I'm guessing anyway, but I won't say the bit I was going to say, but I thought the whole point of the game was just to work out how to kill these Colossuses each time. That's the puzzle, isn't it?
But that's just so boring.
But there isn't a puzzle to it. That's the problem.
Maybe you're just really, really good at games. I'll put it.
I did 2 within like 30 minutes, and I just was like, the world is so vast. There's like this big open world, and there's nothing else to do.
Have you completed it before?
No, I've never played it.
If I write in the chat what I think the big point is that makes everyone gush about it, will that bother anyone?
No, I've played it.
Right, hang on. You chat amongst yourselves while I write it.
I played it many years ago, and just I warned you. It's all about the story and the prettiness, but there's no actual game to it, and it's just frustrating.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it, but I don't see the point of why everyone gets so excited about it. It's just a really old game with not a lot to do in it. I think when you've got things like The Witcher and Assassin's Creed and I don't know, all these other open world games, it just seems a bit blah. And like I said, maybe it is nostalgia and everyone who's played it before wants to go back and play, but I just don't see.
Not everyone, that's for sure. I played it many years ago.
I'll go back to it.
Going back.
But at the moment, because I've got work to do and stuff, I won't go back to it until I really have nothing to do. I don't get it. But it is really pretty. That they have done a lot of work on it and stuff. It does work with HDR.
Well, it's been completely rebuilt, hasn't it? That's the big fuss that's about it. They've rebuilt the whole thing. But I just don't get why. Why not just make a good game instead?
Is what I said in the thing right, or am I remembering the wrong game?
I think that's the gist of it.
So that's the reason everyone...
I did feel like, because I played Dragon, what's that word, Hunter, and in that game, I was fine. But then this game, you're like, well, why am I doing this? Like, why am I going, like, because I know there's a story and you have to go and do these things, but I couldn't understand why you would have to go and do that just for this one story. It didn't seem to make sense.
It feels like it's a bit arty and boo-hoo.
But it's like all these games. Ico was the same. Lost Guardian was that the other one by this light. That's the same. They're all just Emperor's New Clothes. Oh, it's pretty. Oh, it's art. Oh, no, it's just nonsense. It's not a video game. Go draw a picture, you bunch of losers.
I like Last Guardian.
No, you don't.
I did. I enjoyed it.
You've been told to like it.
I enjoyed The Last Guardian, and I want to play this Colossus.
No, you don't, Pab. You think you do, but you don't. Let me sit you down. We'll have a little chat for a few hours, and I'll teach you to think for yourself again, and you'll realise you didn't enjoy Last Guardian.
I've never played it.
You won't enjoy this.
No.
It's just.
It's not. It's just not for me when I've got so many other games that have
real games.
No, because it is a real game, but there's just such a vast environment and there's not a lot going on. Like, apparently there's like 70 golden coins to find. But, like, the world is so empty. Why would you want to go look for them? there doesn't seem to be anything going on in these worlds except for you going from A to B, do a bit of clambering to get where you need to go, and then do what you need to do to the Colossus eyes. I don't know, Colossus.
I'm surprised Kev's moaning that this is just fancy, arty nonsense. What's that paint one that he was obsessed with?
Unfinished Swan?
No, the one that's made in paint by the looks of it. I can't remember. It begins with P. Every time I try and type it in, I'm coming up with Pantry and...
Journey?
Proteus.
No, Proteus, possibly.
The reason I was obsessed with that is because the developers were very nice when Andy was loving it, and I told them about it, and he liked chasing the rabbit around. But the thing with that is that wasn't trying to pretend to be this awesome thing, and people weren't talking that up as the greatest game in the history of the world. Everyone knew it was just like 16-bit art with a fun soundtrack, and you got to chase a rabbit, and there wasn't much to it. But it was a fun little throwaway 45 minutes. And for what it was great. It was £6. It was short. It wasn't fancy and graphically and splendid. Whereas Shadow of the Colossus, this is the third time they've released this game. Now, it came out on the PS2, full price. It came out on PS3, bundled with ICO, full price. It's now out again on PS4, presumably full price again. They've got to stop selling this game and pretending it's the greatest game in the history of the world.
Are they going to bring it out on VR if they haven't
Of
already?
course they are.
That would probably work all right, though, wouldn't it?
But this developer have made 3 games in 15 years. They need to stop re-releasing this one and try and make a good one.
Maybe they're saving up the money to make a real Colossus and take over the world.
It's just, it's frustrating.
I'm surprised they haven't just made, like, it's the Shadow of the Colossus, like Body of the Colossus, Essence
They don't need
of the
to,
Colossus.
because people lap this up every time it comes out. Oh, Shadow of the Colossus again. Oh, been rebuilt, has it?
Mind of the Colossus.
Pab's telling us his mic stopped working, so should we have some fun at his expense? Pab, do you have anything to say about this? No? You don't have it just proves...
The thing.
It proves, Pab, that you didn't like
I'm a
Lost
northerner.
Guardian.
Stop being mean!
Pab, have I convinced you that you don't want to play this game anymore?
I like Yorkshire puddings.
You got me.
Why? What accent was that supposed to be?
I don't know. That was
I don't know. I was having a stroke.
You're a strange chap.
Yeah, that was weird, Sheepdog.
Do you like
all
Yorkshire
going wrong
puddings,
over
Pab?
They're better than the pizza Yorkshire puddings.
Good.
That's the
Is
correct
the
answer.
correct answer, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So at least we convinced you not to get this game.
No, I won't buy it until it's on sale.
Anna will sell it to you for 80 quid.
You can buy it for 25 anyway.
Yeah, it's 25. It's not full price.
Okay.
People just buy it because of that giant dog thing that's in all the pictures, didn't they?
What?
What?
Is that not Last Guardian?
That's a different one.
I
It's
don't
all
know.
the same.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Right. What else have we got then? Anna, you're playing something right now that's not that, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm just playing Assassin's Creed. Same old, same old. Not a lot to say. Pretty game. Lots to do. It now has... It now has educational tours of Egypt that are non-violent. So you can also just go on tour.
I'll go do that. That sounds much more like it.
Yeah.
So that's the thing you can
really
do
clever.
now.
That's really cool.
I heard on Reddit that they edited the game to match some Egyptologists' findings about a pyramid.
Probably.
But they've been actually updating what's inside certain places because there was new evidence that came out. Something mad like that.
If they're making it educational, they kind of have to, don't they?
I suppose, yeah. We should put out some fake news that they found a copy of our podcast in the
tomb.
Yeah, in the tomb.
That's where the thumbnail went.
Yeah. If anyone finds it, send it us back.
Yeah, and stop sending us other thumbnails.
Oh, great.
Right, Pab, what have you been playing then?
What have I been playing? I've been playing some more Dark Souls. Monster Hunter World.
Never heard of it.
Yeah,
The what?
Monster Hunter World. I've been playing some more of that.
Yeah.
I've been playing it with people. I've built a second set of armor now. Only to find out it's a really bad set of armor. And I've been dying a lot, and I've been going, I don't know what's going on. It's a really cool looking set of armor. I want the bone set of armor. The bone armor is great. It looks amazing, and then find out it's really bad. And I just had to stand in the corner while everyone else beats the monster up, because as soon as I get near it, he just whacks me on the floor and I die. So
Silly goose.
Oh, no.
I've been upgrading better armor for that, but I'm kind of on the. I don't want to build any more armor because the second Horizon armor set comes out at the end of the month. So I'm like, I'm just going to get that. I'm going to wear that anyway. So I'm like, I'll just stick with different weapons or whatever. I've changed my weapon now. I've been told I went with a seriously advanced weapon, which is why I wasn't doing the sort of combos and the skills that I could be doing, because I'm kind of a noob at it. So I'm back on sword and shield again, just the basics. And I really like that game. I really do. It's a cool game that, with people, like I said this last time, it's 10 times a game when you've got people to play it with. Because it just makes it more enjoyable. Like, but I'm not saying it's a bad game when you play on your own, because it's not. It just can be a bit tedious at times. What else have I played? I have played some Dark Souls. I have played some Dark Souls 3. Well, playing Monster Hunter World made me realise that Dark Souls is just Monster Hunter and vice versa. There's some big fellas that like to whack you around a bit, and you've got to evade them and just whack at the knees, basically. I was watching someone playing it online, and it just gave me the itch to play Dark Souls again. So I started just edging my way back into it, and I've respec'd all my character. I spoke to someone who knows the Dark Souls, and he went, right, okay, let's have a look at your specs. And I showed him all my spec sheet, and he went, what the hell have you been doing? I've just been putting points into this, that, and the other, and I like that set of armor, I'm going to wear that set of armor. Oh, I can't wear that one, I need to put a load of points in endurance so I can carry more armor. And he was like, you need half the amount of points into these certain things. So he's respec'd me and sent me on my way. So I'm going to continue to play that, because I feel like I think I've played 30 hours of Dark Souls 3. It's bonkers. And I've not finished it. And I don't even think, I want to say I'm probably 2/3 of the way through, maybe not even that. So I feel like I owe it to myself to finish it at least to give it a go. So I'm going to do that. What else have I played? It's been a weird week for me. I went back to The Witness this week as well. I saw a video of some random people on YouTube playing it, and I was watching them play it for a little bit, and I was like, I don't remember doing this. So I instantly just got onto my computer, booted it up, went and followed it, and went, no, I haven't done this. So I did it, and I got another one of them laser beams, because you got to unlock all the lasers that go up to the mountain, and that unlocks the door at the top of the mountain when you get a certain amount of them. So that became a point of me going. So I watched the video, followed what they did, got the net laser, and then I went, I wonder if there's another one around here. So I went around there. I went around it was like it's called the bunker or something like that. I found that one, did a couple in there, got stuck, and I went, let's see what these guys did then. So I watched what they did, and I was like, right, okay. So I figured out what they did, and then got through there, got another laser. So I think I started on 5 that day, and I've finished now with 8. I think 8 is the one you need to go and finish the game. So there's a chance I might finish that game as well. It's insane. I'm actually starting to finish games I started 2 years ago. Yeah, it's insane at the minute. I don't know. It's been a real weird week for me for just playing old games. One other game that I've played, an old game which I've not played before. It's relatively old anyway. A game called We Were Here. We Were Here 2's just come out, which is why I didn't get this game, because this one's a freebie. So if you like the sound of it, just give this one a go. It's a co-op game It's a co-op puzzle game. So I got my friend to download it, and there's like two explorers find this giant castle, and you're one of them, and your partner's the other one. So you go in like separate ways down this castle, and one room has like a puzzle in it, and the other person has the solution to it. So it's a very much a co-op game where you couldn't play it on your own, and you've got a walkie-talkie, so you can like just talk into the walkie-talkie and tell and describe to what I'm doing. Admittedly, I didn't use that because I was just on Discord and used that. It's easier, but it's a really cool game. It's a cool concept anyway. And so I go into the first room. There's just a wall with hieroglyphics on. So he's then got to he's in his other room, and he's got to then decipher which hieroglyphics I've got to push in a sequence that gets me through the door. And then there's like a huge, it's like a hedge. It's more or less a hedge maze, but it's not. It's like a huge maze of where I've got to go, and I've got to describe to him where I am, what I'm seeing, like how many barrels I've got in this room, how many tables, what's on the wall, and what have you. And then he can identify where I am, what levers I need to push to open certain gates to get me through to the other side. It's just a really cool game. It's an interesting, like I say, concept as much as anything. And like I said, I don't know. I got to a one we got stuck on. Oh no, we didn't get stuck on it. We did beat it eventually. It's a chess game. You've got to play the game of chess, and I've not seen the other side of it yet. I'm going to swap with him next week and see what the actual other side of it looks like, because he had to watch a video of someone playing chess to fathom out how to play the perfect game of chess, and I had to play a perfect game of chess outside in the snow, so I was slowly freezing, and I had to do it pick the pieces up, put them at a certain place on the board as he was watching the video of where to put them. But he can only watch it so far, but we've got to rewind it and start again. It's a bizarre concept, but it was a really cool puzzle game. We got stuck on the one where it was like a puppet theatre, and I had to like crank the backdrops in and the sets in as he read the scenes out, and I had to decipher what backdrops and stuff had to go in, what set had to look like. And you have to do that under like the pressure of a timer that's going on. But we just couldn't fathom out how to do scene 4 in the end. There's like 5 scenes, I think. But it's really cool. It is a really cool game. And it's free to play. We were here, like I say, to come out. That is a paid one. But from what I've seen, that looks a much more higher quality game. Like the graphics are better. Not saying this one's a bad one because it's pretty good. But yeah, give it a go. It's free. Especially if you fancy having a shouting match with someone because you're getting annoyed with them because they don't know what they're doing.
I love shouting matches.
Yeah? Well, you'll like this then.
Good.
That's your lot. That's all I've got for you, I'm afraid.
I've played something other than Football Manager this week.
No, you haven't.
I have.
Here we go.
Anna, you know exactly what I've been playing. I've been playing a game that Anna introduced me to through a YouTube video last weekend. That she was just watching a video of a game called Freeways, and I was just getting angry with the video. Who was it you were watching? Was it
Many a True Nerd?
Many a True Nerd playing this game, and he was just doing it wrong. It's basically you have an overhead image of a really rudimentary map where you have a couple of different points on it, and you have to draw roads to get from point A to point B and C. You're basically designing intersections and roundabouts and stuff from above. And he was just making a really bad job of it. You need to make it so it's efficient. You don't have traffic jams. It's the same kind of graphical style as that old air traffic control game that was all the rage on the iPhone when it first came out, that everyone had because it was the only game on the iPhone. And it's that kind of thing. And he was just doing it wrong. So I got it downloaded on iOS. I also got it downloaded on Steam. And I've just been designing intersections. I think it's £3 on both. Right. So it's a super bargain. But I just sit there designing my little junctions. I'm currently doing a bit where I've got to get around a lake. So I've got to build bridges over the lake. but still make it so that the 4 different locations surrounding the lake, everyone can get from any one of them to any of the other 4 without crashing, without getting in a traffic jam, without ending up in the lake. And it's just silly fun. But I think I might have to make a response video where I show this guy how you do it properly. Because I just couldn't believe what he was doing. The first thing he tried was a roundabout. And he was like, no, roundabouts don't work. That's because it's an American game and he had the roundabout going the wrong way.
This guy sounds like you.
You have to put arrows on it to show which way round you go round it. And he said the roundabout going the wrong way. I tried a roundabout with the arrow going the correct way. Roundabout worked brilliantly. Even better, though, is a roundabout made up of lots of smaller roundabouts. It works a proper treat. It's delightful. It's a fun game. If you've ever
he was getting so angry. It was so
been upset by roads being designed wrong, here's your chance to make the world right again. I feel like people are mocking me now, and I don't know why.
You just described yourself.
How did I describe myself? The man was wrong. I'm always right.
Okay.
Exactly. Right. I believe that's it then for video games. What have we got in the realm of motion pictures?
Gonna see one tomorrow.
Between our family, we're going to see 3 different movies tomorrow because you lot are ridiculous and cost me a fortune.
Oh.
We don't want to go and see your pouring film.
Hang on, what film?
I'm going to go and see Black Panther tomorrow.
No. That's in the same range as Strange.
What do you mean?
That comes under the same remit as Doctor Strange.
Why?
BT Marvel movie.
Why?
Because I just said.
Nothing.
I probably won't go see it until payday because I haven't got any money. But
yeah, I will see it probably next weekend.
Were you trying to ban us from seeing it until such time as
until he saw it?
Yeah,
I want me to see it before him. That's all it is.
All right, okay. Is Anna being racist, Kev? It was you the other week.
I'm not being racist. I just don't want to go and see another superhero video.
It's not another superhero. It's their turn. It's the Black Man's one. It's Black Panther.
But I don't care.
You can't not care. You got to care on this one. You cared about all the white ones.
I had the last time I seen them. When was the last Marvel, Kevin?
But they were
I think
white.
It was in the Avengers I watched.
Yeah, the White Avengers.
There's a
Just Anna, check your privilege, yeah? The green one, the Hulk! The white man who changes...
The one that wears the suit!
Anna, check your privilege.
Shut up.
So yeah, I'm going to go and see Black Panther, but...
Because you're trying to do some relations things. The fact you were racist the other week.
Anna's going to go and see something about...
You'll have a film crew outside the cinema taking... What are you seeing, Kev? Oh, no, nothing. I don't know.
Sheepdog. I don't need a film crew. I'm going to have my cameras with me.
I'm just seeing the film with... I like Panther. You'll start calling him Black Penguin or something because you don't even know who he is.
Well, I'm going to go and see Black Panther. Anna's going to go and see the water film, and the girls are going to see Maze Runner. So between the 4 of us, we're seeing 3 different movies. I had to make a spreadsheet to plan how we do this and all go at the same time. It was very complicated. And it's basically costing me 40 quid and 4 hours of my life to go and see a blooming superhero movie.
But think of the social justice points, eh? You're covering all 4 of those little boxes, like the 18 to 24 range. You've got the minorities. You've got it all worked out. You're a monster.
You're making it sound like I can charge this to the business. Call us marketing.
That going back to my South Park game for a second, there was a bit in that when I asked you a load of questions about ethnicity and gender, and I've ended up, because I wasn't really paying attention and just flicked through and answered it any old way, I've got a Latino Irish kid who is asexual and genderless. I was just like, what? And the parents keep referencing it now, which I thought was quite humorous. They're having conversations and they're like, I'm a proud Irishman, damn it. And it's just like, yeah, it's just funny. forgot to mention that about one of the things that it's interesting how they've made every single eventuality that you could have picked into the script at certain points. I got attacked by hillbillies for being genderless, I think it was, because they don't like people who are genderless, apparently. Which makes me want to go back and see what they'd attacked me for if I'd have picked straight or something like that.
Splendid. So has anyone seen any movies this week?
Yeah.
Go on.
I've rewatched Spider-Man: Homecoming this week.
Good.
Yeah.
Did you watch it in Blackpool again like last time?
No.
Oh, the one I fell asleep in. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
That movie's basically the reason that I'm having to go through my shenanigans tomorrow. Anna loved the Marvel movies until Spider-Man: Homecoming, and it was just because she was tired. She didn't. If she watched it now, she'd like it, but since then she's refused to watch any superhero films.
No, because I've seen that story so many times. I don't need it reimagining every 4 years. Yes, his uncle dies. Yes, he has to live.
This is the only time they've done it properly, though.
And I was just like, why? I've seen this before. And it was just, he got bit by a spider, and then he had to change his costume, and then he found his. It's like I'd seen the movie 4 times before, and I was just sick of it. So I went to bed.
What do you tell us about it, Pab? Did Anna
I
just sum it up perfectly?
I enjoyed it. I wasn't at the time. I was like, yeah, it was all right. I feel like I don't know what it is these days. I feel like I have to watch things a second time to see things or to realise how good they actually are, because I think it's a superb film.
It was very
Michael
good.
Keaton as the Vulture is just amazing. And that
She's falling asleep thinking about it.
Yeah. A bit in the middle where it was towards the end where I'm not going to spoil it, but the plot twist is just superb.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that coming at all at the time.
No, I didn't.
I thought that was very clever. It was a very good film.
Yeah, it's a super film, and it makes me just look forward more to the Avengers coming out in May.
What is I know I just mocked Kev for having no idea what Black Panther was about and only going there for the ratings that it will get him, but Black Panther doesn't tie into any of the major story, does he? Like Spider-Man was
he turned up in Captain America, didn't he?
No, I mean in the comics, sorry.
Oh.
Well, they're not necessarily following the comics, are they?
No, but what I'm saying is like Spider-Man was there. What I was going to ask, what I was getting at, I suppose, is Black Panther almost their Wolverine substitute, because Wolverine was there in the comics and can't be.
Pass.
Maybe.
Let's wait and see, shall we?
Yeah. Okay. I just wondered. I was looking at it.
Or I would say maybe he's your Fantastic Four surrogate, maybe, because they were sort of hovering around.
The guy from Thor is just the Fantastic Four. Is it the Thing?
He's maybe, I don't know. Because he's rich and smart and has all the fancy tech. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. So I should stop asking you questions because you're just going for your ratings. Is that what
Stop asking me questions about this movie I haven't seen yet. In fact, these 2 movies that I haven't seen yet, because one of them's not even out yet. Kev, what's going to happen in this movie that's out in May that leads off of this movie you're going to see tomorrow? Let's have your in-depth thoughts on this.
Just wanted your knowledge. No need to
I don't have any knowledge. I thought the Black Panther comics were trash. The current run of Black Panther is rubbish. It's just not very good. I can't get into it at all. So I hope the movie's nothing like that, or else I'll be very sad.
Well, based on early reviews for it, it's supposed to be amazing. So
yeah, that's why I want to go. I hear it's very, very good.
Yeah.
What else have people been watching then?
I don't think I've watched any films this past. I watched Weed. I've started that. I'm 1 episode away from the end of the first season. It's all right, isn't it? It's entertaining.
It's marvellous. We're on season 6 or 7 now, I think. So we're ploughing through it. It's excellent stuff.
I think we'd have been further if Claire hadn't gone away for a few days. The theme tune annoys me, but other than that...
How dare
no!
you? And also, aren't you watching this on Netflix? Why are you watching the theme tune more than once?
Well, because if I don't watch it for a few days, it seems to force us to watch the theme tune. So we've seen it once, and then we go through it.
See, what the mistake you're making there is when you want to turn it off, let the next episode start, pause it when it does the starting after the theme tune. I can't believe I'm teaching you how to use Netflix. You should be the expert in this.
See, I frantically try and turn it off before it counts down.
Well, that's the mistake you're making then.
Yeah.
That's why you haven't watched the theme tune over and over again. But the theme tune's brilliant.
It just seems a bit of a dumb song. It sums up America, that song, because it's all like, they're all living in their training to be doctors. People are training to be clever and have real jobs and make money and lives for themselves.
That's the point.
It's a weird, stupid song that just encourages people to be thick drug dealers.
It encourages people to think for themselves and not
become a doctor. Shut up.
Why
people
don't
who think for themselves?
Boring. People don't want to have boring jobs.
But the song describes 3 jobs that aren't boring.
But they're 3 jobs that I'd hate to have.
Because you're not very clever.
Oh, I'm very clever.
You're not that clever.
I like
you're
to
not lawyer,
think for myself.
doctor, business owner clever. I
own a business, you lunatic.
Don't own a business. You own a camera.
You're just mean.
Yeah, that was harsh. But the song talks down on you then, Mr. Business Owner.
Yeah, well, I'd rather be a drug dealer. I just don't know how to get into it.
Well, yeah, it's definitely showing.
That's why I'm watching this show, so I can figure out how to get into the drug game.
Better off watching Breaking Bad again, surely.
All that did was teach me the recipe. I don't want to make it myself. I want to deal it.
You've got to find a little old lady.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah, but you've already established you're racist.
I don't know where
is this why you're seeing Black Panther? Because you think you'll be able to learn how to communicate and get closer to people, their cultures and whatnot.
I've been looking for ways to free up my Friday nights for ages, and it looks like Sheepdog's finally going to get us thrown off iTunes, so I can stop doing this podcast. Finally,
just asking you to stop being racist, mate. That's all I'm asking.
Goodness me. I'm going to have my people talk to your people. I'm going to have you silenced.
It's going to cost a lot.
I'm not paying you off. I'm having you killed.
Is that why I've been hacked so much? Are you having me hacked?
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need to pay to have me killed. The diabetes and obesity will do that for you.
What's everyone else been watching? Sheepdog doesn't get to talk anymore. How do I mute him, Pap? This is why I need the crown in the Discord, so I can mute Sheepdog.
I'll sort it for next week. I've started watching The Good Place.
That's an excellent show as well.
Yeah. I quite like that.
Well, you should like it a lot rather than quite liking it.
I've only watched the first episode. I started watching the second one, but fell asleep during it. So, but it's a
roaring endorsement.
Yeah, that's just because I got it from work and I fell asleep. But yeah, it's a cool premise. And I've heard that it really sort of zigs and zags like in direction of where you think it's going to go, and it goes the opposite sort of thing. So I want to see it all. And like I say, I enjoyed the first one, so I will definitely continue to watch The Good Place. It's cool. I like Ted Danson. He's good.
Who doesn't like Ted Danson?
Exactly.
Anna, have you been watching anything weird?
No.
You're always watching something weird.
I've been busy this week.
I
think I've been watching The Lead Boss or something. I can't remember. It was on Amazon. It's about girls. It's basically Ugly Betty without the ugly. So
just watch Ugly Betty then.
Yeah, I was like, Betty.
Ugly Betty was great.
Out the ugly, and it's just about these 3
Just
girls.
Betty.
One doesn't know if she's a lesbian. One of them is sleeping with like the boss people, and then one of them has just got a new job trying to find her way, and that is about it. I can't remember for the life of me what it's called. It's on Amazon.
Splendid. Looks like it's comics o'clock then.
Yeah.
Are you sticking around, Anna? Yes, she is. Splendid.
Yeah.
Right. Need to get this out the way up front. I've only read one single issue of the comic this week.
Oh,
Because
wow.
it took me all week to read.
Oh, you're going to read it?
Started the Wicked and Divine thing.
I read the first page and went, I'm not doing this. Not again.
Goodness me.
Yeah.
This is 60 pages of prose, basically, with a little bit of drawing thrown in. It's a novella.
Yeah. I think you can tell they struggle for an artist for this issue.
Well,
someone draw me a few pages quick.
When I finally finished it, I went online just to see if people were furious, and people aren't because people are idiots. Apparently, there are 22 art pages in it, like you would have in a normal length comic, but there's another 35, 40 pages of prose.
That's the difference. It's an 80-page book with 22 pages of pictures.
Exactly. So their argument is we gave you a full-length comic, but then threw in all this extra story as well. The problem is, and I love Kieran Gillen, but he's not a very good writer. That's why he writes comic books. He's good at coming up with a story and adding some dialogue to it, but there's a reason he's not a novelist. And it was clear from this issue. It was just...
For me, you have to, when you're dealing with this, where you're dealing with the same characters in different bodies and stuff like that, I'm struggling to use my imagination as it is. So when it's just describing this person, I'm thinking of the one from the current book, and it's not. It's a different whole person. It's a bloke this time. And I'm like, I get to the picture page, and I don't know any of these. I know I'm confused, and I don't know. I just read the first page and I just went, I'm not doing this. I'm really not doing this. Unless Kev tells me I need to do this, I'm not doing this.
I don't think you do.
This happened last time, didn't it? What was it?
They had the magazine issue. But the thing with the magazine issue was cool. I liked the magazine issue.
I didn't. I sacked that off. Yeah.
I didn't like it, but I could stomach it because it was like relative. It was like a couple of page articles. It wasn't 60 pages of it's basically a book. If I wanted to read a book, I'd read a book.
I know. It's just, I mean, I don't know why, if they had too much story to fit into one issue, which is what they're saying, then either do it as a graphic novel and make it 120 pages and charge me 20 quid for it rather than 3 quid, because I don't understand. Or just don't tell this particular story. It doesn't add much. I mean, it adds a little bit to the lore, I guess. But it's not crucial reading. You could miss it out entirely.
I think
presumably.
Yep.
And I mean, I'm saying that without knowing what happens in the next arc. But it hasn't made anything that we've seen so far easier to understand or clear. It's not joined any dots together. And I can't see that it's setting anything up for what's going to happen in the final 2 arcs of the main series. And I was really excited for this one. This was the one that I was looking for. This was the Pantheon before the one that we've got now. I thought, this is going to be so cool. Yeah. And it had the potential to be, and it just, I don't know. It took me 4 nights to read for one issue. And I mean, bearing in mind, I'm the person who'll read like 20 issues of a comic in 4 nights.
If it's good, yeah.
Yeah, but this, it was just hard work. And
yeah,
I feel like they're rushing towards the end. Take a month off. Use the Brian K. Vaughan method. Brian K. Vaughan wouldn't have put this out. He would have taken a month, taken 2 months, taken as long as he needed, and made it good. The fact that they're rushing issues out like this because Jamie McIlvey doesn't have time, it can't draw fast enough to keep up. So every 6 months they need to have a 2-month break to let him catch up with the drawing. Just have 2 months where you don't release a book.
Yeah. Do you worry that the reason they're rushing these ones out, so bit of a tangent, I suppose, but if you look at Game of Thrones, that fella is holding off with the last book and throwing as much as he can in between us and that last story because he's filling his boots with money while his stock's high. But also, there's a lot of theories around the fact that he just doesn't really feel happy with how he's finishing it. Do you think maybe they're trying to bring forward a lot of bits that they perhaps would have waited otherwise with? Like maybe the ending's not great, or maybe they just worry. Or
I think they're under pressure from the publisher, and maybe under their own financial pressure to have a monthly release. I think it's a creator-owned book. It's the only book either of them are working on at the moment, and it has been for the last 4 years. It's not Batman. It's not. I mean, it's good, but it's never in the top 20 on Comixology. It's not.
That's a surprise because it is one of the top stories that we read.
But it's not selling loads and loads and loads. So perhaps they just have to release something every month to pay the bills.
Maybe.
Which is why. So last month we got the trade. This month we get the one shot, and then we're back into another story arc again. It seems like they're forcing themselves into a monthly schedule, even when it doesn't make sense. This story, I mean, if they're thinking about making more money overall, this whole story, you could have just taken this out now, had a month off, finished the story this year, and then in 2020, 2019, whenever, just said, you know what? We said Wicked and Divine was finished. Well, here's a 6-issue miniseries telling the story of the Pantheon before. Let's do it properly. And they make much more money doing it that way because they get a 6-issue run, they get a trade, they can charge mugs like me £3 an issue and then 15 quid for the trade. And rather than getting 3 quid out of me for this one book that I didn't enjoy, they get 30 quid out of me, and I'm raving about it. I'm excited because this book I loved has come back for another 6 issues. I just can't follow the logic of why it's happened.
I don't get why they wouldn't have just split it into several now anyway and just push.
Because there's no one to draw it, and it doesn't fit in with their schedule.
Yeah, because they'll have the next issue. The next issue in the arc is going to start up next month, I presume.
Yeah, I wonder if one or both of them have got a contract lined up for the next thing they're doing, so they've got to finish Wicked and the Divine this year because they're starting their next thing with Marvel or DC or whoever it might be from January the 1st. So they've got to finish it now. And they've got a contract for a certain, because they can't leave Image hanging with 4 books for a trade, because these one shots are all going to be collected together into a trade after the whole thing is done. So they can't say to Image, actually, we haven't got a one shot for you, because that means they then can't fill the trade. So I wonder if it just felt like a bit of a placeholder, unnecessary. I don't know. For a book that's been so good for so long, to put this out was it was just disappointing.
I said to you last week, I found all of the historic ones a bit so I'm relieved in a way, because if you just said it was amazing, I'd find a way to fit it in. I mean, I'm relieved and not relieved. Obviously I want it to be great, but it saves me a job.
But yeah, that was all I read this week because I didn't have time to read anything else. So I was reading this one £3 comic.
I fell down another DC. DC got me the other week with the Super Sons cross with the Titans, cross with whatever it was.
Yeah.
They got me again. They did a bloody cross with... They did a cross from Teen Titans to Deathstroke to... somebody, and then the Kid Flash was kicked off the Teen Titans, and I thought, okay, I've managed to survive another crossover. I can get on with the story. They won't get me a third time, and then they did, because they did a Dark Metal tie-in where this one went ridiculous. It was Teen Titans, then it was Nightwing, and then it was Green Arrow, then it was Suicide Squad, then it was Poison Ivy, and then it was something else random, and then it went back to Teen Titans, and then they just carry on like that's all still going on over in Gotham City, but we've got other stuff to focus on over here that is nowhere near us. Like Robin's dad's disappeared. Batman, you might have heard of him, has disappeared, and he's just cracking on with whatever stories he's got going on in, is it New York the Titans live in? I can't remember now. Yeah. But because I knew that story ended, it went back to normal. I was thinking, well, surely that will spoil how Dark Metal finishes, but it doesn't. It's still going on in the background. Batman's just missing, and Damien's just cracking on because, heroes don't stop, I suppose. But it was really good. I'm glad I read it. The dark metal story in general, like I looked at the pictures and thought it was well drawn, but sounded a little bit lame. It's actually really cool. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's if they. Part of me wishes I'd waited, let them finish it, and then got it as loads of different big books, because that's what they'll do. They'll collect up all these crossovers, won't they? Presumably, when I'm normally reading them as 100-page book and characters are flitting in and out, I know in real time they've, people have had to have gone and bought the Green Arrow and so forth. I didn't realize at first. I went from part 1 to part 4 or whatever, but like I read a couple of pages, then thought this has skipped forward a fair bit. And then realised it's because I hadn't read the last page that said like go and read this comic now. But yeah, I think you'd enjoy it. It went very quiet then. I wonder what happened.
We're both pondering.
I can tell you something that I have read, and it goes in a similar fate as what you said, Kev, about the Wicked and Divine. I read the Swamp Thing Winter Special. So this is like a one shot of bad looks of things, and there is one story from Tom King. Tom King, the Batman guy.
Tom
Kev.
King sounds right. Yeah,
Tom King's the Batman guy, isn't he? Yeah, and that's a good story. That's fine. So I got probably about a third through that book, and it's done. That story's through. So I go into the next story, and I'm reading through it, and it is just probably about close to a full issue of just pictures. And the first three pages, I'm just going, oh right, he's just one of these is just silent sort of comic, right? And I keep going, and there's no words. I'm like, so I get up on the computer. I'm googling this. Is something wrong with my print or something? There's no words in this book. I don't understand.
I'll give you some words. I had loads of spare words.
Well, hang on a minute. Here we go.
Books together.
So I get to the end of that comic, and then there's the same amount of pages with just words on them. So
I'm confused.
That was a script because it's from a guy. I think it was Len Wein. I think something like that. I think that's his name. He died before he could put this out. He only had the script of this like script, so to speak, of it. And then they've put the artwork in afterwards, or they've put the artwork in. So I'm like, well, why don't you just put the artwork in and make it into an actual comic? Because I didn't read that at that point because of the same issue I had with Wicked and Divine. I'm not reading an entire book. I'm not like referencing pages going, okay, so that's that, and then going back for 40 pages going, okay, that's that panel there. I'm not doing that.
Did you know before you read it that he died before he finished it?
No, I read it after. I looked at it afterwards because there's like tributes to him and what have you, and I was like, well, fair enough. It's not his fault.
It's just Have you ever read The Children of Húrin, the J.R.R. Tolkien story?
No.
So he died. Sorry to interrupt, but it's just it's put me off ever. If the person who is writing something dies before they finished it, I'm just like I'm staying away from that, because this book he was writing and then he died, and his son went through and finished it. But if you read that story, the way his son, in my eyes, has finished this is every character systematically just randomly dies at a certain point in the story, completely out of the blue. So it's like he's just gone through and gone, that character dies here, and then carries on the story a bit, and he goes, that character's dead now. And they all just
slowly die off.
It can't have been how we intended it to be written. He just basically has gone through and ended their stories at whatever point, and then gone, the book's done now. I fixed it.
Well, at least the guy finished it. He was getting ready to put it out to be made. He was making it to be a new series of Swamp Thing. It was meant to be issue 1 of a new Swamp Thing series for DC, and he's died, and so they've put it out in this special. But it is just literally 20 pages of words and 20 pages of pictures beforehand, and I'm assuming that they're the same thing. I don't see what the point of it. I don't get it. I really don't get it. It's like as if they just wanted to get it out because I think they delayed this even further anyway at the time. I think they delayed it a month anyway because it's a winter special. I think it was meant to be coming out around Christmas time, maybe early January. So for it to come out last week, they have delayed it long enough. I don't know whether they just couldn't get someone to, I don't know. There's all sorts of different artists, isn't there? There's the drawers, there's the colorists, and all different people. So maybe they could only get people to draw the panels and not put the words in. I don't know, but I was just like a little disappointed by it. Just simply because I'm sure people are fine with it and people don't mind. Same with Wicked and Divine, they don't care. But I don't want to read books like that. I really don't want to read books like that. So, the other thing I've read Volume 2 of Curse Words.
Learning new ones.
Volume 1 yet?
You've not read Volume 1 yet?
No, it's still sat on my shelf.
Yeah. Volume 2 is very good again. I've been reading it all week, just an issue a day, and it goes on from pretty much straight after the end of Volume 1, and it carries on from where Ruby Stitch, who I can't really say anything now because you've not read it, but she's now in the same world as Wizard, the hipster guy with a beard who's like defying everyone. He's defying his bosses. He sounds brilliant.
Sounds like my kind of guy.
He kind of is, Kev. If you had a longer beard, you could probably get away with being him.
You can't grow a longer beard.
He's got a big old wizard beard. And so he talked her into staying in Earth and defying Syzygy, which is like the almighty god who sent Wizard down to Earth to destroy Earth in the first place, and he defied him in Volume 1. And then she's now getting used to the world where there's no magic anymore because she's been cut off from the magic because the almighty god powered them. And it's a cool book where you see more of the other gods, the 9 as it were, because this almighty god has like 9 minions sort of thing, and Wizard was one and Ruby was one, and then you see all these other smaller characters are now being like in this volume they're doing a tryouts to see who gets to go and fight and try and kill off the 2 rebels, so to speak. So you get to see a lot more of the characters in this book. I like it, but I think sometimes they draw characters ugly. I think that's on purpose, but some people are like, bloody hell, this is an ugly character to draw, just to be. It's like, I don't know, but it's a cool book. And it has got a hipster vibe to it to me in certain aspects. I didn't feel it in the first one as much, but when the Almighty God guy, this like evil emperor, like all powerful ones, is going, "Hey man, what's up?" and just giving it some like jargon, like lingo, cool dude speak. I'm like, would he be talking like that? I'm like, apparently he does. Some very hipster stuff in it, but it's cool. It is really. I like the book, and it is. I think it ends kind of on a cliffhanger for this volume, but there's a Christmas special because there must have been a Christmas special this year, I presume. Just nothing related to it, and it's a cool, nifty little issue. Sorry, but it's cool. I like Curse Words. No, but I'm just completely. I'm all in on like these random things that aren't Marvel and DC. I don't know why, but I just like all these what Image and Dark Horse are doing with some of the titles. It's really cool. That's your lot.
Well, I think that was plenty.
Yeah, I think so.
Anna, what comics have you been reading this week?
That would be none.
Oh,
None? Oh, slow week for you.
nearly as many as Kev.
So I had to mute you because some exciting stuff was happening in my game, and I didn't want to spoil it for anybody.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, it's getting interesting. It's like Kev might want to get back into it.
Back into what? What are we talking about?
Assassin's Creed.
Oh, Desmond's back. Excellent. I'll play the last 4
No.
games. Oh, then I'm not
He's
interested.
not back, but because you've got bits set in this world,
Do we find out why Veronica Mars is dead? Because until they resolve that, I am not getting back in on. She died 4 games ago, and the only explanation I can find anywhere is they couldn't afford her for the next one.
What, Anna?
That's about right.
Yeah.
Is that who it was?
Yeah. Because Desmond just stabbed her, didn't he? Right at the end of whatever the last one I played was, or the one before the last one. And it was just never explained. It was just the big dramatic ending of whatever that Assassin's Creed game was. No explanation whatsoever. Everything since then has been stupid until they go back and explain that to me.
Yeah, but there's like a whole weird story going on. I don't understand. Like, I understand, but I'm like, why? I thought they'd finished with that. I thought this was just... But then again, it's Origins. So I guess it's starting from the start? Is this set before all the other ones?
Oh, yeah. This is the Origin.
Okay.
Being Assassin's Creed Origins.
But so that what? So they're already established?
No, I think from what I can gather, he's the founding member. He's the one who started
first
it up.
one. Right,
is there stuff set in present times as well, or is it just?
There's bits, yeah.
Bits,
so
not,
is that
not
set? Is that set before or after the other games?
After. I would say after, because it's all Abstergo stuff.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
It is very confusing trying to work out who is where and why, and it's just like, what is going on?
When you said Kev would be interested, I thought you were going to meet the inventor of boats and have the opportunity to kill him.
No, because there's already boats in the game.
Like, my name's Dave Boat. I want to show you my new invention.
So you've got your main story going on, but then there's like a backstory going on, plus there's a present day story going on, and you're all very confused. So I want it to end so I can be like, oh, okay, but I don't want it to end because it is such a good game. There's just there's so much to do, and it's just baffling, like how they've done it. I just don't understand, but it is really, really good. So now I'm gonna say bye, I guess, in a minute.
Indeed, we're all going to say goodbye. If people would like to keep in touch with us in the meantime, I don't know what we're in the meantime of, but they can follow us on Twitter at MGUK Podcast, or they can follow me at Lelujo.
And I'm at RB6K.
I'm at Miss Lelujo.
And I'm at Pab1986.
You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/MatureGamerPodcast. Or you can be entertained multiple times a day by this handsome man at lelujo.fm. That's it. Crash over the URL, you scumbag. lelujo.fm.
Don't set up a joke. Calling me handsome. Yeah, go to lelujo.fm.
Good idea.
He's not racist either. I have to say that. My solicitors made me edit this in.
Good. See you next week, boys and girls.
Have a good week.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much for listening.